If you struggle to diagnose, troubleshoot, and take care of air conditioning related problems, let me walk you through the 5-step fixer framework that I developed over the last 15 years and that I now use on a daily basis to really diagnose and troubleshoot with confidence. Step number 1, obviously, in fixer is the F, which is find out what's going on. You do that by reading a job description and talking to the customer. In this case, we arrived, they already showed us where the unit is downstairs, and then they told us that the reason they found it is because their fire system is telling them that the smoke detector can't be detected, and that's how they found out that the breaker was tripped. They tried to reset the breaker, it lasted for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then it shut off, which makes me believe it's either something to do with the compressor or with our condenser fan motors. But that's just our step number 1. Step number 2 is inspect. So you do a visual inspection of the unit. You don't really touch anything, you just look around. Obviously, we already found that the breaker is off, but just confirming, I don't see anything majorly going on over here. I'm just inspecting. It's obviously not running. I see that this is slightly open, which makes me believe somebody else has been looking at this before. It is not fused. We can open over here. Oof, that feels nice. Filters are pretty neat. Yeah, they always leak over there. You can see. Let's just look. Obviously, we won't have power. I just want to see if something obviously is going on. I don't see any like burn spots or anything. I do feel like it smells a little bit burned somewhere here. I'm just sniffing stuff right now. But sometimes it leads you in a direction. No, nothing here. Let's see here. Nothing here either. I'll probably have to turn off the disconnect and then dig a little bit deeper, go downstairs, turn on the power. But we can do a lot without the power on. So people don't realize this, but just going into step number 3, which is you x-ray the unit. So you take out your instruments, you do a deep dive into the unit, and you compare it to an x-ray on a human body. You're basically x-raying your unit, you're finding out deep down what is going on, what's causing the problem, what is the underlying issue. So this is step number 3 is x-ray. Since we already know that it is related to our electrical because the breaker is tripped downstairs, I turned off the power now just to make sure the breaker is still tripped. But the first thing that I want to check, because most likely we do have either a component that failed and there's a short internally, or there's a connection to ground. But that's what I want to check first, and that's why it's important to find out what's going on, talk to the customer, and then observe the unit to see what is going on, because each situation is a little bit different, and based on what you find in the first 2 steps, that helps you to then narrow down in the x-ray step and use the right tools to find out what's going on with the unit. And since we have a 3-phase blower motor and 3-phase compressor and stuff like that, all of the resistance readings on the components should be reading the same. Here, this is our indoor blower motor, which that seems to be checking out so far. 1 compressor. Okay, let's check from here to here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alrighty, let's go to our last compressor. Oh, would you look at that? That is not a good sign. Okay, well, this is all reading OL, so this is not something we want to see. So this one is this compressor over here. Let's just double check on the actual compressor because I don't want to have like damaged wires or something. Okay, that's still reading OL over here. Yeah, that's just bad. It doesn't look like we're reading resistance to ground, but this is why it's good to have a mega ohm meter. So you can put one on the terminal and then connect it to ground and apply voltage to see if the insulation might be damaged internally. Because with our windings reading open, we would not be tripping the breaker because there's nowhere for the electricity to flow, so it would just never start up. So I am assuming now that this insulation is wearing out and that's creating a short to ground when we're applying electricity, but that's why it's important to do the steps. You go deeper, you use your instruments. One thing, before you condemn a compressor that is reading OL, make sure that the compressor is not hot. And if it's hot, use some water like we have over there. Cool down the compressor, because sometimes when they overheat and they lock out on thermal overload, it will read OL on your windings. So you don't want to misdiagnose a compressor just because it's hot and overheated. Also, when you are using this mega ohm meter, I would recommend using this not as a sole diagnostic tool, but just to confirm a finding. Because here we already went through, we saw that it was reading OL internally. We know that the breaker tripped, which if this is OL, it shouldn't cause the breaker to trip. So it's most likely that the insulation is worn out and we do have a connection to ground, but we were not able to see it on here, which is why I'm using this as a tool to confirm my theory instead of using it as the sole tool to diagnose. Because if you read the literature on the Copeland compressors, this only reads to 20,000 ohms, and some of these compressors can still be good at like 500 to 1,000 ohms. Yeah, that being said, I would recommend investing in a high quality mega ohm meter if you have the funds for it. Otherwise, use this as an added diagnostic tool. When you are connecting and testing your insulation to ground, you want to put one side onto your terminal and the other one connected to ground. And then what it does, when you click the button, it sends voltage in here and it sees if the voltage comes back to the other terminal, and that will tell you that the insulation is bad, because you're not supposed to have any voltage leaking out of your windings. But let's push the button and see what it tells us. There you go. So we are confirming our theory, and that's why the step is called X-ray, because you dig deep, you want to confirm, and you don't want to guess. Like, you're using all the tools that you need to arrive at 100% certain conclusion. If you're not certain yet, then you probably still have another tool to use or another thing to test, which that's now bringing us into step number 4, because I turned the power back on downstairs. I'm gonna turn power on to the unit, leaving this disconnected and seeing if the rest of the unit operates as it is supposed to, because that will be step number 4, to ensure that what you're finding is actually the cause for the unit not operating, and that will give you 110% certainty in your diagnostics. And if you want to get more personalized feedback and an active community of over 1,100 technicians to actively support you in a community, then check out the HVAC Game School community, because it's just a resource that I put together for you to help you accelerate your career and master troubleshooting. Now we're getting into step number 4, which is ensure that your diagnosis is actually the right diagnostics, because that is what will give you the certainty to then tell your customer this is actually what's going on with confidence, and repair or recommend a solution. Wow, this just turned on. I was going to check our voltage, but we should be having voltage here. 480, that's all good. 480. Yeah, that's all good. Okay. 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 Okay, is our compressor running? Okay. And okay. So with that, we are pretty much certain. So the unit is running, our blower motor is running, our first stage cooling is running. Let's look at our condenser fan motors. They are both running. We are removing heat. Let's go over and double check. I will be surprised if we get more than 10 degrees of a split. Okay, this is still adjusting. So 69. Interesting. We are getting a high split for one compressor. It's pretty good. So this is really how you complete the step number 4. You ensure that what you found is actually what is going on. And now you're going to repair or recommend the repair. Obviously, if you have the approval from the customer to go ahead and replace it, simply go ahead and pull the charge, do your whole replacement, and then get them up and running 100%. But in this case, because we're a commercial, which it might be hard to do that right now with the dollar amount that we have assigned to this call, our NTE, not to exceed amount, or some people call it DNE, do not exceed. The compressor is probably just by itself going to be more than what we have on this call. So I'm going to call around, get a quote for the replacement, build a quote, and then submit it to the customer, at which point we're going to be back, do the full replacement, and go that route. But that's your step number 5. So you should have a list of supply houses near you. If you don't have one, just Google it. Sometimes the company provides your specific supply houses that you can use. You can use whichever online vendor. You can obviously do that too, but it's always preferable to go OEM first. So you can call Lennox as well. But just build a quote either way. If you don't have the full approval yet, build a quote, build out all of your costs, and then tell the customer how much it's going to be. To say, yes, go ahead, and you have everything in stock, just go and do it, and then just proceed with that way. So I hope this helped you. I hope it makes your troubleshooting life a little bit easier, a little bit more confident, where you can actually run through. You have a specific framework that you can just go through, because there's nothing worse than quoting a $2,000, $3,000 or $4,000 repair, doing the job, and then still having the system not operate, which it happened to me a lot. So that's why I developed this framework. And as I said, if you want a more personalized approach with an active community that you can ask questions and that's there to support you and help each other, learn together, grow, accelerate your career, master troubleshooting, then check out the HVAC Game School community. I'd really love to see you there. Happy HVACing.